Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome here to the Launchpad. My name's Zach. I'm the founder and host here at the Launchpad Network, and it's good to be back. Thank you so much for joining us today for our first of three launches happening here today. First up, we've got Electron. Later tonight, we have SpaceX with Falcon 9, and then a little bit later into the evening, we have ULA with an Atlas 5, and then tomorrow we've got another SpaceX Falcon 9, and we're glad to have you joining us here. We got people tuning in from all over the world. If you haven't yet, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We got people tuning in, as I said, from all over the world. We've got Randy in Pennsylvania, we got Antonio in Greece, we got Lynn in Naples, Florida, we've got Mark in the greater Arizona Metroplex. Welcome. We got Corey in Phoenix. Great to have you here. Brian's in Kentucky. We got Bukja, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, in Slovakia. Herb's in Las Vegas. We got Princess in Canada. Lots of people tuning in. Take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. And while you do so, take a moment and engage that like button. We are now just 23 minutes, 45 seconds, and counting till liftoff of Rocket Lab's sixth dedicated mission for the Japan iQPS satellite constellation. That constellation is planned to have up to 36 satellites capable of monitoring specific fixed points on the Earth every 10 minutes. In addition to launching on Electron, the QPS SAR satellites will use Rocket Lab's motorized light band as a separation system for deployment in space. So we're going to dive through a little bit more about what we know about today's mission as we get started here. Rocket Lab should be beginning their live coverage in just a couple of minutes. But as always, if you guys have questions, you can send those in the chat by tagging me at the Launchpad, and I'll do my best on answering those live through today's broadcast. We do want to make one little quick note. We don't push our shop that much, but if you haven't ever checked it out, the launchpad.store, even though while our website's down, our shop is still up. We know we're coming into that holiday season, and we've got lots of exciting things we're planning to roll out over the coming weeks, and the first of them dropped last night. If you were following us on X or you're in our Discord, you got first notice and a first chance to get your orders in before maybe a wave, so your orders get first. But we're super excited to finally, after years of wanting to do it, drop our 2026 calendars. We have tried to do calendars the last couple of years. We never got to a point that we were happy with, and we have got to that point this year. We have 6 calendars available, so depending if you really like those ignition engine close-ups, or maybe you like a general space flight from our incredible rocket chaser Gavin, maybe you're a Starship person, or you just like the classic streaks, or you just want to see some awesome liftoff shots of tons of different rockets from around the United States. We haven't shot internationally yet. Those are now available over at the launchpad.store, so take a moment. If you place an order during today's broadcast, we'll give you a shout out on the stream, so definitely take some time, check that out. We do have international shipping available on those, and if you order in the next few weeks, you will get those in time for Christmas and definitely before the new year. A huge shout out to our entire TLP Rocket Chaser crew. These calendars are not possible without their incredible photography that they've taken over the last number of years. We try to use a lot of fresh photos, but there's some that are just so good from previous years. We had to make sure we included those to make sure we also cover all the different types of launch vehicles. So definitely take a moment, check that out. Let us know in the chat if you check it out what your favorite one is, and if you place an order, we'll be keeping an eye out and give you a shout out while we continue to count down to launch here today. Today's mission is Rocket Lab, the nation God navigates. This will be the 74th Rocket Lab mission, the 16th Electron of 2025. That is really incredible that they are had that many this year, and they've still got a few more to go, it sounds like. Rocket Lab will be launching from their Mahia Peninsula, New Zealand location from Launch Complex 1B, the second launch pad at the facility. This launch here today is currently scheduled for 2:51 p.m. Eastern Time. On board, as I said, is the singular satellite for iQPS, heading up to low Earth orbit, weighing about 100 kilograms. We do expect Rocket Lab to give us some more information during their broadcast, so the moment that they do, we will, of course, patch them in and listen in to Rocket Lab Mission Control for the latest on the countdown, and they have just begun to spool up their stream. So we'll have that set up ready to listen into once they begin their commentary coverage. Catching up on your guys' comments, questions in the chat. Lots of people jumping on. We got Floss in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We got David in Indianapolis. Lord is in Germany, Cologne. I've been to Cologne, beautiful city. Chemo is in Atlanta, Georgia. We got Not Another in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. GS is in London, England. We got Jeff in Hill Country, Texas. Welcome. Jay is in Rhode Island. We got Andy in Cumberland in the UK. Captain is in Columbus. We got Mike in Florida and Naugong in Georgia, US. Welcome. Glad to have you joining here. Lots of people jumping in. If you haven't yet, take a moment, share out the stream, and invite people to join us. Keeping an eye out, seeing which of you are going to be the first person to order a calendar. We'll do a shout out if you do. But we are getting ready to listen in to RocketLab Mission Control here as we count down the last 19 minutes and counting till liftoff. We will sync our countdown clock with theirs once we see their clock on screen. Again, quick programming note, we do have 2 more launches later today that we hope you'll join us for. But for now, let's listen in to RocketLab Mission Control.
Moments away from Electron's 74th mission, set to lift off from RocketLab Launch Complex 1 in Mahia, New Zealand. The clock is at T-minus 18 minutes to liftoff for today's mission, our 16th launch of the year. Hello and good morning. My name is Sam Peters, coming to you from New Zealand, and along with me is Jess Hepworth, and we'll be taking you through today's launch operations.
Thanks, Sam. That's right. It's an exciting morning over here at Mission Control, where we're preparing for our latest mission for the Japan-based Institute of Kyushu Pioneers of Space, or iQPS. Launch preparations have been underway all morning at LC-1, and everything is looking green so far with the rocket, the weather, and the range. We're locked in and targeting the top of today's launch window, with liftoff set for 8:51 local time or 7:51 UTC.
Today's launch is our 6th satellite deployment for iQPS's constellation of Earth imaging synthetic aperture radar satellites. We've been the primary launch provider of their constellation since they began launching their QPS satellites, and we've got another 6 missions to come for the constellation following this one. We've named today's launch the Nation Guard Navigates, as the satellite we're sending to space is called Yachi Hoko 1 for the Japanese Guard of Nation Building. Today we're headed to a 575 kilometer circular Earth orbit at a 42-degree inclination to deploy Yachi Hoko 1, where it will join its fellow guards in space, all already delivered there by Electron. That includes the Moon Guard, the Lightning Guard, the Sea Guard, the Mountain Guard, and in August, the Harvest Goddess. So today it's the Nation Guard's time to fly.
With this being our 6th mission for iQPS, we recently signed an additional agreement for a further 3 launches, totaling 12 launches for their Earth imaging constellation. Each dedicated launch, like the past 5, is for a single synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, satellite. We even provide the separation systems for these missions as well. They'll be deployed from a RocketLab motorized light band.
That's right. It's a privilege to be the primary launch provider for the iQPS constellation, and we're looking forward to many more. Let's hear now from the team directly about their mission and SAR constellation capabilities.
And we'll leave this video up here on your screen. Unfortunately, it does have that copyrighted music, so we'll be muting that and answering some of your guys' comments and questions that you're sent in the chat. So if you have those, you can tag me at the launch pad, and we'll work on answering those live here today. We got Brandon watching from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dolores is in Lakeland, Florida. We got Matthew in Panama Beach, Florida. Welcome. We got Ted watching from Costa Rica. Welcome. It's great to have you here. We got Focused in Ocala, Florida as well. Catching up on what you guys have been talking about in the chat and those questions. Everyone letting us know where you're watching from. Some excitement for the calendars. Appreciate the comments about excited to have me back. It's good to be back. Feeling really good. Long recovery ahead, but feeling really, really good. L-minus 15 minutes and counting to launch. As you heard there, the teams were saying they are targeting the top of the launch window for today's launch. Also hearing weather's looking really good for today's flight. Over an hour ago, RocketLab did confirm that they began fueling the Electron at Launch Complex 1 for today's mission. And that's the weather was, as I just said, green for launch at the opening of today's window, which is really nice to have a launch targeting the top of a launch window.
iQPS to build their constellation, and we really are honoured they've trusted us as their go-to launch provider. In fact, we've actually had more Electron missions for iQPS this year than any other customer, and it's been a beautiful partnership. All right, so we've got a nice frosty Electron in front there. The team is finalising loading liquid oxygen, or LOX, into the vehicle. This super cold, high-performance propellant is loaded onto Electron as close to launch as possible, as it's essential to keep it in its super chilled state. The stage operator is responsible for fueling ops, and their status will be confirmed next during the go, no-go poll. Today we have operators in mission control here in Auckland and at the launch site in range control. We actually have 5 mission operation centres where we can operate both launches and space operations.
And today's launch director is Taylor Moore, who is managing the mission from the range. Taylor will poll each of our station operators for their readiness to proceed to launch. We're looking for a go from each operator to confirm that Electron is ready for flight. Let's check in with the LD now.
To all operators, we're proceeding with the go, no-go sequence. Commencing with stage.
Stages go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Beacon.
Beacon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is go.
MM.
MM is go.
LD sub.
LD sub is go.
The go, no-go sequence is complete. We are T-minus 11 minutes and 27 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal auto sequence at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word procedure is in effect.
Fantastic. That's a resounding go across all systems, and the Nation God is cleared for flight. We're now at T-minus 11 minutes in the countdown, and so far the mission is continuing nominally. The payload is healthy, and the weather is still looking good for today's mission. Our T0 launch target is set for 8:51 a.m. While we wait for the LOX loading to be complete, now is a good time to share an update on another RocketLab mission that's about to launch, this time involving 2 of our spacecraft bound for Mars. The Escape and Plasma Acceleration and Dynamics Explorers mission, or Escapade, will send our 2 spacecraft to Mars to study the red planet's unique hybrid atmosphere for NASA and UC Berkeley's Space Sciences Laboratory, helping scientists better understand the processes that drive space weather changes there.
That's right. The 2 spacecraft, named Blue and Gold after Berkeley school colors, are in Florida and ready for launch from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The pair are based off our Explorer spacecraft platform. Now, when they're in their stowed position, they each measure about 1.5 meters wide or around 5 feet. But once their solar arrays deploy, that measurement extends up to 5 meters or around 16 feet wide. Each of them weigh just about 200 kilograms or 440 pounds, and they weigh more than double that once they are fully fueled for the mission.
After launch, the spacecraft will loiter in Earth's neighborhood for 12 months until the planetary alignment window opens for their 22-month journey ahead of them to Mars. It'll take 11 months to get there as part of the crew stage, and then the pair will have 11 months to conduct their primary science mission once they're at the red planet. The twins have been patiently waiting for their moment, and that time to launch to Mars is now closer than ever. Let's take a look at the journey the Escapade spacecraft and our team have taken these past couple of months to be ready for their mission to Mars.
Cost dual spacecraft science mission to study Mars's hybrid magnetosphere. It's funded by NASA. The science is led by the University of California, Berkeley, and the spacecraft bus is provided by RocketLab. The bus is basically what takes the science instrument from Earth to Mars, and it's what keeps the satellite alive.
The more we learn about other planets in our solar system, the more we also learn about our own planet and its past and maybe its future as well. You know, this mission to Escapade and going to Mars is helping us understand its magnetosphere. But not only that, with a platform like this, it can be adapted to do many different missions, and each of those missions may have their own way of improving life here on Earth.
I was really hoping we get to leave that video up, but unfortunately that music just slowly getting louder and louder in the background there, but we'll leave it on screen for you guys to be able to see. I saw a few questions coming in the chat, so we'll answer those while we continue. You can keep sending those in. Buckjaw, sorry, say that. Let me know in the chat how to say it so I say it right. Says I've never seen Electron launch on a live stream though. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you here. I also saw a question coming in asking about the location of the pad, and I can't seem to find it right now, but does the location of the pad have anything to... Oh, there it is. Focused lady. What is the significance of the launch location, and are the satellites to be in use for the nation of New Zealand? So it's actually Japanese satellites. They're just launching from New Zealand on RocketLab, which is technically, in a way, an American company. There is the New Zealand company of it as well, but started in the United States. So they are Japanese satellites, but we don't know where the exact locations will be that each of these watch. That hasn't been confirmed, but they will be a designated thing. But technically you can launch from anywhere in the world for a Earth observation satellite, because when you put it into orbit, it will most likely at some point within a number of days always pass over that point. It just depends how frequently you want to pass over that point. These satellites are going to be used for passing over the same point every 10 minutes with this constellation. So there's going to be 36 of these satellites ultimately in the end with the constellation. This is the 6th one RocketLab's launching. They just signed a contract for 3 more. So they're building probably a few circles of these that they'll be able to have that imagery that they do want. So could they have launched these kind of say from Florida or from Vandenberg in California? Yes, it just would have depended on what orbit they needed to get into, what vehicle had the option, pricing, all that type of stuff. And a lot of companies do like to have dedicated launches. Like today, this is the only satellite on the Electron. This is 100 kilograms, so it is one payload here today, unlike a constellation deployment where, you know, Starlink we see 20 to 30 at a time. We've seen Electron deploy multiple satellites as well, so it can do that just depending on the weight. So for a great question, thanks for sending that in. Let's listen back in to RocketLab Mission Control.
Escapade is such an important mission. The science that Blue and Gold will conduct could help researchers better understand not just how the atmosphere and magnetosphere evolve at planets like Mars, but also use that science as a model to compare Earth's own magnetosphere and atmospheric escape. We can't wait to see this mission finally fly soon. We've got our fingers crossed, so keep an eye on our socials to follow their journey to Mars once Escapade is launched.
LD GCO mission.
GCLD.
Hold down mechanisms are armed. Strong back is retracted for flight.
Copy, GC.
Some gorgeous views coming in from New Zealand here today. Coming down to 5 minutes and counting till launch. I'm going to do my best not to talk over mission control here. You can see that strong back now retracted. That clamp opened up around the Electron. They are now just topping off the fuel. Everyone's favorite black rocket, now with its 2 very clear white stripes. Now that it is fully fueled up of that cryogenically cooled fuel. This is Launch Complex 1B, just to the left of this pad at a 90-degree
Now
turn
back to Electron, and
is Launch Complex 1A.
we are just 4 minutes away from our T0 liftoff target, right at 8:51 a.m. local time here in New Zealand. We're tracking no issues with the rocket, the payload, the range, or the weather as we head into the final count. Electron's flight computer will take over the countdown and run the last 2 minutes or so of the pre-launch autonomous operations. That includes final top-offs of liquid oxygen to the propellant tanks and peak pressurization across both Stage 1 and Stage 2 ahead of liftoff. Once we check those boxes, it'll be time for that final 10-second countdown. So let's switch back over to mission control and listen in to the final count. We'll be back with you after liftoff. Go Electron.
L minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
To all operators, from now on there should be no red flags in your critical LCCs. Beacon LD on mission card.
LD beacon.
Lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Locked.
Confirm all flight computer ASGOs are green.
All ASGOs are green.
Copy, Beacon. To all operators, we are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch.
The vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
Locked load is complete. System is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff.
It's going bad. It's much better.
Beginning control.
Stage 1, propulsion nominal.
Electron has cleared the launch pad and the nation god is on its way to space for iQPS. Velocity is quickly climbing at more than 800 kilometers an hour and counting, with Electron just past 5 kilometers above LC1 right now. The first thing we want to listen out for from Mission Control is the call for max Q,
Engine
or
chevron
maximum
Vehicle
aerodynamic
is
pressure.
supersonic,
It's that
approaching
moment
max Q.
during ascent when Electron's increasing speed meets decreased air density to cause the maximum amount of stress against the vehicle. Let's listen in.
Cleared max Q.
Nice, clean sailing through max Q for Electron there. The vehicle speed is climbing nicely past 2,500 kilometers an hour, now at 1.5 minutes into the mission. Next up after max Q will be MECO, or main engine cutoff, which is the command to shut down Electron's 9 Rutherford engines on the first stage. Once this happens, the first and second stages of the rocket will separate, and the single remaining Rutherford engine on the second stage will fire up to fuel the rest of the Nation Guard's ride to orbit. We should be able to check out both stages during that separation event, so keep an eye out for that milestone as it occurs.
Stage 1, propulsion holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in approximately 30 seconds.
"15 seconds to staging."
Enter it burnout attack mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage ignition confirmed.
Stage ignition confirmed.
And that's confirmation the stages have cleanly separated, and our vacuum-optimized Rutherford engine on the second stage has fired up to continue the mission to orbit. Electrons moving now at more than 7,900 kilometers per hour, past 100 kilometers in altitude. Next up will be fairing separation from this second stage. This will mark the first time QPS SAR-14 has been exposed to the vacuum of space. We might be able to see those two fairing halves split and fall away from the onboard camera view. Let's watch out for that now.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
HV discharge holding nominal.
And there they go, fairing jettison confirmed for Electron. And there on your screen is the QPS SAR-14 satellite ahead of payload deployment.
Some things you'll hear from Mission Control shortly will be HV battery discharge nominal and approaching hot swap, both of which are call-outs related to the batteries powering the Rutherford engine on Electron's second stage. These batteries are essential for driving the electric pumps that supply fuel and oxidizer to the engine.
Yep. But like most batteries, their energy eventually runs out. And since the second stage burn lasts longer than the capacity of the initial set of batteries, Electron executes a critical maneuver called the hot swap. During this process, the rocket switches to a fresh set of batteries while the engine continues firing and gets rid of the depleted ones. This action is a key milestone in the second stage's path to orbit. Let's watch and listen.
Guidance is nominal. 200 seconds remaining. HVV discharge holding nominal, approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds. Throttling down. Confirm hot swap successful.
And that's a clean and successful hot swap. The second stage, Rutherford, is firing hot and nominally after that action, exactly as expected. The mission has a bit further to go beyond Earth before we reach our next staging event ahead of our 575-kilometer target orbit.
HVV discharge holding nominal, and AFTS has safed.
We have a few more minutes left in this second stage engine burn before Electron reaches its nominal transfer orbit and separates the kick stage with the QPS SAR-14 satellite. Because the kick stage is released in an elliptical pattern, a transfer orbit will bring the kick stage to the altitude of its planned 575-kilometer circular orbit. That journey takes about 40 minutes or so from the moment the kick stage is separated from the second stage. Once the kick stage reaches its target, its own engine will light up to perform additional maneuvers to circularize its altitude before deploying Yachihoko 1 to join the rest of iQPS's constellation.
Right, so we're coming up now on our final staging event before payload deployment. It's a process very similar to MECO, which we completed with the first stage just a few minutes ago, but this time we have SECO for second engine cutoff of that vacuum Rutherford engine you see on your screen over there. We should see it shut down in preparation for the second stage to release the kick stage and send the Nation Guard on its way to orbit. Standing by with mission control now.
SECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Great news. That is SECO confirmed on the second stage and a successful deployment of the kick stage to its nominal transfer orbit. Great news for the mission so far.
We're here in an elliptical orbit for about 40 minutes or so until we reach our planned apogee. And then it's our Curie engine's time to shine. Curie is our secret sauce to our extreme precision. About 4 minutes before payload deployment, our tiny Curie engine will ignite for a 3-minute burn to circularize our orbit ahead of delivery for QPS SAR-14.
That's right, but for now, we're going to take a break from the broadcast while the kick stage does its thing. And we'll come back and join you to listen in on those final moments before payload deployment. See you back here shortly.
And if you're just joining us, we are now 10 minutes into flight of Electron here today. And normally we would wrap up our live coverage at this point because we only normally get an animation of deployment. But they did show us the payload today with a camera when we saw fairing deployment. So we're going to stay live. It's not going to be that exciting up until deployment. And then hopefully we may be lucky to see a live view of deployment from Electron. Which would be really, really awesome to see here today. We've got about 40 minutes until the activity starts to pick up again. That is when Electron will fire its kick stage again for a 3-minute burn, and then deployment. That kick stage burn, 46 minutes, 34 seconds into flight. So 36 minutes from now. That burn lasting just under 3 minutes, and then payload deployment just under 10 minutes, or just under 40 minutes from now. Excuse me, at 50 minutes, 16 seconds into flight. So hopefully we'll be able to have some live views of that for you here today. A reminder: we do have 2 more launches scheduled happening today. We have Starlink 6-81 launching from Cape Canaveral in Florida. That liftoff currently scheduled for 8:31 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 10:24 p.m. Eastern Time, we have an Atlas V launching from Cape Canaveral as well. So we hope you'll be with us for deployment now, and then join us back here later today for those 2 launches. We noted it at the beginning of the broadcast here, but we did want to bring it up one more time for those that join maybe a little bit later into the broadcast. But yesterday, while we were waiting for deployment, we did drop our 2026 calendars. We actually have 6 of them. We're promoting 5 on here. There's a 6th one that's started as a joke, and we thought, you know what, why not release it? So you'll head over to the store to find out what the 6th one is. Maybe someone can go there and let us know in the chat. But definitely take a moment, head on over while we're in this coast phase, check out the calendars. It's a great way of helping support our mission here at TLP, but also helping support our rocket chasers. We split the profits to help push TLP forward and help push them forward. So definitely take a moment and order 1, 2, or all 6 of them. Lots of time to order to make sure you get them in time for the new year. But I would say order in the coming weeks if you want to make sure that you get them in time for the holiday season, because they make really great gifts there. $29.99 US per calendar, so really awesome deal there. We tried to keep that as low as possible for you guys. I want to say we're probably one of the lowest price space calendars you can get out there, but I would say one of the high quality. We've really spent a lot of time putting in a lot of information on the calendar for you guys of anniversaries and milestones and spaceflight and human spaceflight that you might want to know through the year. So definitely check that out. We made these calendars this year universal, so they do not have US holidays, Canada holidays, European holidays. That's something we'll roll out in our 2027 calendars. We'll have different variants for different regions of the world, but we wanted these to be just a universal, accessible calendar for everyone. So definitely take a moment and check those out while we await that second burn and deployment of Electron. During this time, we'll also be answering your guys' comments and questions that you send in the chat. You can tag me at the launch pad, and I'll work on answering those live. Rudd says in 2 years, there will be 24/7 live launches. We have plans, Rudd. So stay tuned for stuff coming next year. There's some exciting things that'll happen next year. So stay tuned to that. I can tease a few things. All new online platform. All new app. Lots of stuff coming in the shop before Christmas and into the new year. We're in beta testing and prototyping right now of a number of things. I can say safely multiple 24/7 live streams coming next year. Yeah, lots coming. And if you want to be part of that, take a moment, fill out an application. We are expanding our TLP crew as we grow and expand these different divisions within the Launchpad network to bring you the best possible coverage of everything space from around the world. Denise saying, thank you for the commentary and coverage, Zach. You sound great. Have to get to something. Wish I could say no worries, Denise. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, if you guys have questions, send them in the chat. Tag me at the Launchpad. I'll work on answering those live. Otherwise, sit back, relax, enjoy some tunes, and stand by for that Curie burn in about 30 minutes.
to the broadcast for our 74th Electron mission, the Nation God Navigates for iQPS. We had a stunning liftoff at 8:51 New Zealand time from Launch Complex 1. Today's mission was, as we like to say, nominal. We ticked off all the usual milestones like Max Q, MECO, Stage 2 burn, and SECO to set us into a transfer orbit where Electrons separated the kick stage with the QPS SAR-14 satellite ahead of payload deployment.
That's right, and since the kick stage's release from Electron, it has completed its first half pass of Earth and lit its Curie engine to position itself in a circular orbit. We're now waiting for confirmation that the engine has shut off, which will mean we are just moments away from payload deployment for the Nation Guard satellite Yachi Hoko 1. Let's listen into Mission Control to hear that final call out of payload deployment.
Nominal final orbit achieved.
And there we have Curie cut off, waiting now for payload deployment and to welcome another QPS satellite to orbit.
And sadly, though we know there is a camera that was looking at the payload here, it looks like we're going to be getting the good old RocketLab animation to confirm payload deployment at T plus 50 minutes into flight. Payload deployment now just about 15 seconds away. We'll keep an eye here for a visual of that confirmation of payload deployment. Ooh, very dramatic zoom out in the animation. And there we have it. Payload deployment confirmed. RocketLab successfully deploying the 6th payload for the Japanese company's Constellation. An incredible flight and a view of Mission Control. Totally relaxed, just a usual day. Well, that's going to do it for us here today in our live coverage of the first of 3 launches happening today. We hope we'll see you back here in a couple of hours for Starlink and later tonight for Atlas V. Make sure you head over to the launchpad.store, pick up your 2026 TLP launch calendars. Help support us, help support our Rocket Chaser crew. But that's going to do it for me now from our TLP Canada studio. My name's Zach. We'll see you in a few hours or next time because space is better together.